Welcome to the Confident Leader podcast, the place where we explore how people move from potential to real influence in their leadership and life. Most leaders today aren't struggling with AI, or as we call artificial intelligence. They are struggling with what it means for them. Will it replace me? Will it expose my gaps? Or will it elevate my leadership? The truth is, AI is not the disruption. Our mindset about it is. And today's conversation is about shifting that mindset. We have our guest who is coming from where she has moved mountains. She has moved people from places. She had made people comfortable when it comes to dealing with artificial intelligence. I'm your host, Rahul Karan Sharma, and our guest is someone who sits right at the intersection of technology and human potential. She is a technologist, entrepreneur, and corporate leader on a mission to help professionals and organizations not just to adapt to AI, but thrive with it. What makes her powerful is this: she doesn't just talk about AI as a tool, she brings it to life as a capability. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hand together and welcome Stephanie Sylvestre to our show. Stephanie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be having this conversation. I'm just looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yes, and I think today at the industry, the way it is evolving, the way everyone is going mad about AI, spending millions, billions of dollars, and still they are asking this question: Is it helping me? Is it giving me the ROI? So we definitely want to uncover all those aspects because you work very closely with that. But before we dive into AI, our audience want to learn about you as a leader. So share with us about your leadership journey. What made you be the person that you are today?
It's it's kind of really interesting, right? Because they say that leaders are born and some are created, and
Hmm.
I think that I'm a little bit of both. I've
Hmm.
always been the person that like just will go in and just start doing things while everybody's sitting around talking about what the problem is. I'm like, let's just fix it. But I also learned how to be a leader, and I remember I was working at a company, and they said to me, Stephanie, if you want to make more money, you have to become a leader because in our
Hmm.
company, leaders are the ones that get paid more. And at first I was resistant. And
Hmm.
then I said, no, I'm gonna take an academic approach to it. And I took my time. I did a lot of research on what it was like to be a good leader and listened to different people's opinions and input, and then said, this is how I want to be a leader. How do I show up as my most authentic self? And so when I think about being a leader, I feel like I'm a good leader if my employees, my team members are a little bit irritated with me. And let me tell you why.
Hmm. Hmm.
They're a little bit irritated with me because I am pushing them out of their comfort zone and I'm demanding that they do things that they have told me they can't do. And I know that I'm a good leader when they come back and they say to me, Stephanie, I'm glad that you did this.
Hmm.
And I remember once I had this person and I said to her, I'm going to hire you and you have 2 years to find a home. This is not like, this is not the job that you were put on this earth for. And at year 1.5, I said, what happened? How's the job search coming? And she looks at me. I said, yeah, how's your job search going?
Hmm.
And then I continued and I worked with her. I said, 2-year mark's coming up. And she went and she said, told somebody else that I was trying to fire her. And I and I said to the person's like, I said, yeah, absolutely. I told her she doesn't find a new job, I will fire her. And the
Hmm.
person's like, what? I said, because she's wasting her potential here. And
Hmm.
so she found a new job. And she found a job in a new city where she had a extended network of people that could support her. The job paid twice what she was making. And she was really mad with me when she left. I was okay.
Hmm.
And about a year and a half later, after she had gotten another promotion at that job, she reached out and said, thank you.
Hmm.
And and for me, that was a sign that my leadership skills, ability, tactic is working. Because leadership's not about making people comfortable. Leadership is about seeing people's potential and
Hmm.
then helping them see their own potential and then helping them maximize that potential. And if you focus on having people see their potential, lean into their potential and maximizing their potential, then you will win because you can then just co-dream. You don't have to
Mm.
spend time giving people detailed steps.
Mm.
Co-dream. I have another person right now, and they said they want to be compensated at a certain rate, and I said that's a reasonable ask, but you're not operating as a person that should be compensated in that rate. But I will happily mentor you to get to be compensated at that rate. And some people are like, well, like why would you like actively help her get a higher paying salary? I said, because
Mhm.
by developing her, I develop myself. And by developing her, my company is in a better place. I want the highest
Mm.
skilled employees I could possibly have. And so I have been mentoring and helping her. And the first few times I could see she was utterly annoyed with me, completely
Mm.
and utterly annoyed with me. And
Wow.
and then I said, "How can I help you?" She's like, "If you give me detailed steps." And I said, "If I give you detailed steps, then you people at the rate that you want to get at don't get detailed steps. They get vision and sometimes they get a dream,
Mm.
but they don't get detailed steps."
Detailed steps. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I
And
think what you have been sharing, Stephanie, is normally people don't share or they are not vocal about it. In leadership, people are all talking about how they can please people, how they can, it's something like they want to win an election. But I think the first golden nugget that you have shared with our audience is leadership is not about making people comfortable. Leadership is all about unleashing the true potential of your people. And the $1 million point for me, you just mentioned where an employee came to you for a salary raise and how you handle that situation. Honestly, in my 20 years of career, I have not dealt. That's a very smart way of looking at it, because when an employee is operating at a higher level, you definitely, it's a win-win for everyone. But what, as a leader, and I'm just going back to that stage, what goes in our mind is the budget. We have a budget. We just have to operate on that budget, but we never go out of that box. And what you did was definitely not a box thinking. So thank you for sharing that. Really a great way to handle a salary raise from an employee. Very well said.
absolutely. I mean, I believe that if you create an environment where employees are properly compensated,
Mm.
they will focus more on your work because they won't have
Mhm.
money issues or they won't
Correct.
have the distractions that come with not having sufficient money. I
Correct.
remember at another company, they gave me a budget to hire 5 people, and the budget to hire those 5 people, I would have had to hire like not fully skilled people, or I would have hired highly skilled people and be paying them exploitive wages. None of those two things. I looked at it, and I mean, this is like all from a self preservation standpoint as well. I was like, if I have a bunch of people that are marginally competent, that means my life becomes miserable. And if I am knowingly exploiting somebody with their compensation, how do I sleep at night? How do I get to enjoy my compensation that I know that I've negotiated for? And so I went back and I said, what if I hire 3 people and we will not adjust the workload? I If I hire 3 highly competent people, we can get all of this work done. So
Mm.
they said, as long as you stay in budget. So I did. I hired 3 people and we crushed it. And
Wow.
everybody was happy because they were getting compensated at a reasonable price. And it was a little bit for me because good for me as well. I mean, just to be brutally honest, when they got irritated with me and they went to go look for another job and they were told what they were making, and the recruiters were like, we don't like you're at the top of the scales or
Mhm.
sometimes outside of the scale. And then they would come back and
Mm.
they would like adjust. And so what you've done is what I've done is I've created an environment where I say, I respect you, I appreciate you, but I also expect you to bring your A game all the time. And so I have done my part in creating this environment. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire for you to show up in a respectful manner and appreciate the environment I created. So mutual respect, mutual admiration, preservation of dignity.
Mm.
And
Wow.
it's a scary place to be as a leader because sometimes you do a bad hire and that person all they do is exploit. But then when you do a bad hire and that person exploits, as a leader, it's your responsibility to cut loose as soon
Sure.
as possible. And so I am comfortable hiring people. I'm comfortable helping them find a new home that is more aligned with their personality and their worldview and their work ethics. I'm completely fine with that.
Nice. Well, I think what you have really demonstrated is not seen by many leaders, specifically in the tech world. It is more about the numbers. It has become a numbers game rather than the skill game. Everyone wants to have those 20, 30 people, and they just consume their budget in getting those people. But what you are doing is, or what you have done, in fact, in your previous engagement, is hiring the one who really deserve the job and paying them well. So when they are paid well, they are bringing their A game. And again, it is not that they will bring their A game. We need, as leaders, have to hold them accountable to bring their A game. So that's
Absolutely. I mean, we're just human beings. I mean, everybody just wants to hang out on the beach or go hiking or
correct,
maybe.
correct.
I mean, like, and I'm not saying this from disparaging anybody. I'm just basic facts. I mean, like, if I left up to my own devices, will I work or will I slack off? Probably would
Mhm.
be a little bit slack it off.
Correct. Absolutely. So, Stephanie, coming back from the AI perspective, what we see is many leaders, they are very unsure of the use of AI. I mean, they know that AI will help them, but still, somewhere back in their mind, they are also thinking that AI will replace them. So, you work with technology leaders, you work with C-level suites. So, from your perspective, what separates the leader who is thriving in AI versus who's struggling with AI?
I think there's two things, right? So I had a client and they were just focused on like just train people on how to use AI.
Mm,
Actually I've had a few clients that like that, and it was very frustrating and unfulfilling engagement. I'll tell you why, because they were perceiving AI as another piece of software, like it's Word. Like, hey, just come train on Word. Let me tell you all the cool things that Word can do. Let me tell you all the
mm,
cool things AI can do. To
right.
what end? Where's the strategy? Where's the pain points that you're trying to address with AI? Not clearly articulated, then AI is not useful. And then secondly, AI is not software by itself. AI is I perceive AI as a social construct. It
Mm,
changes how we behave, it changes how we interact with each other. And social construct has an element of humanness to it. I'm not saying that we're at AGI, so please nobody send Rawl a whole bunch of testy emails and comments. But what I'm saying is that if you perceive AI as hiring an additional person, right? As a leader, are you afraid of hiring another human? If you're not, then why would you be afraid of bringing AI?
mm,
Now, of course, there are some leaders that are afraid of hiring humans, and there are leaders that are afraid of hiring humans that are smarter than they are.
mhm.
And that is not an AI issue. That's a person issue.
Person.
And and what I say to people, and the best implementation are the ones where the leader has clarity on what goal they're trying to accomplish with AI. That
Mm,
the leaders has is processing AI as a staff augmentation solution. So my marketing team is overwhelmed. My social media team can't keep up with the posts. We'll create a social media AI agent that helps them write posts that has on brand, that has or hashtags. And now they can produce more posts in less time. And what they're doing is editing, reviewing and editing the posts and then scheduling it. It's changing how they work. You're moving them from tactical to strategic. So even if you're an entry level person, you now have to have an element of strategy to your job. And that's again, right. There's a lot of people in leadership positions because they were really good at tactical things, but they were not very
Mhm.
strategic. And so where I feel like leaders are concerned about AI is because now the AI exposes their lack of strategy.
Got
And the AI can do half of what you can do. So you don't have a leg up anymore because you can
Mhm.
tactically complete stuff. 'Cause
Right.
I think the thing that that hit me, I was like using the AI one day and asking it to do something, and I gave it like 4 of the 7 steps that it needed to do,
Mm,
and it figured out the other 3 steps. And I thought, we've all been on a team or worked in where there's one person that refuses to share how they do their job. And
mm,
if they share, they'll give you 5 of the 7 steps, and then when you can't do it, they'll be like, "No, no, it's okay, let me just do it for you. It'll be quicker." And because you've just spun for 2 hours, you're frustrated, you're like, "Fine. Thank you for being my knight in shining."
mm,
Now, you gave me 5 of the 7 steps, I gave it to the AI said, "Here are the other 2 steps."
mm,
That is what AI is gonna bring. And so for the
mm,
leaders that are looking at AI as staff augmentation to amplify their employees, not to replace them, they're gonna start seeing that kind of result.
mm,
Interpersonal disputes go down, productivity goes up, conflicts are removed, people aren't spinning as much as they used to,
mm,
people feel more fulfilled because
wow.
they're now doing higher level thinking.
And I think where you mentioned about is the differentiation is the clarity in the approach, clarity in the strategy, and clarity in the goal that you want AI to achieve. And as long as leaders have clarity, they will see the results, which is higher productivity, reduction in number of conflicts, a reduction in the number of people related issues. All those things will fall in place. But before that, you need to have the clarity as to why you need AI and what that AI will do for you. So, Stephanie, apart from clarity, still, when I talk to the tech leaders, I see that they are still gung ho in terms of the investment on the AI part. And their founders or their venture capitalists, they are asking for that ROI. So they are still not getting that ROI. So, apart from having clarity, is there anything that they are missing because of which AI is failing for their organization? What has been your observation when you work with your clients?
So the traditional RIs don't work anymore, but it doesn't mean you don't have RIs. You still have RIs. It's just that traditional RIs are more qualitative. And we struggle with measuring qualitative outcomes. It's much easier to do quantitative things, right? Black and white, very easy. But the qualitative, the gray area that's really where you're finding the most fertile ground. So, being able to use the AI to do qualitative assessment. What is the quality of the work that you're producing? And I will tell you that from this beginning of my career, I've been anti quantitative measurements. So let me tell you why I've been anti quantitative measurements. There's two stories. One is when I was an intern at Hewlett Packard, I was at the Latin American headquarters and I didn't have a car. So I had to get to work really, really early and then leave really late because I had to deal with the bus schedule. I didn't want to have to stand. So there was this gentleman that would get to work at 7 o'clock in the morning and he would leave at 7 o'clock every night. 12 hours. You're doing quantitative measurement. This guy is an awesome employee. 12 hours. Most people are working 8 hours, 9 hours. He's working 12 hours consistently every day. What did he produce in those 12 hours? Nobody still knows nobody could tell. I still don't know what he did. No idea. He read all the Latin American newspapers every single day. And then the second thing is if you're really good at your job and you can get your job done really quick and of high quality, why are you then forced to sit in a seat for the rest of the day, even when you finish your task for the day? Quantitative measurement says you have to be there for 12 hours. You have to be there for 8 hours. So I got to work at this boutique consulting firm. This is back in the 1990s, and they were doing fixed pricing. Now AI is forcing you to do fixed pricing because now you have to do value add pricing, not like just hourly. Because you can't charge the client 5 hours of work if you use the AI and you got it done in an hour and a half because that's stealing.
Mhm.
Right? So they did fixed price, and because they did fixed price, they could they could assign me 3 projects at the same time, and I was delivering high quality things, and so at the end of the year, they gave me a really nice raise.
Oh.
If they were forced to do hourly, I would be stuck on 1 client because I could only do one bill 1 client at a time,
Mhm.
or I would have had to work 18 hours, 24 hours in a day, which is not possible. And then I would not have gotten helped them bring in increased revenue, and so then it'd have been hard to justify the additional raise. So
Mhm.
qualitative measurements has always been my thing, and it's really not as hard as we think. I mean, we can read something and know if it's well written or not. We
Yeah,
could
yeah.
I mean, we could talk to somebody. Like I can talk to somebody, especially if they're in IT or something like that, and I could tell if they actually know what they're doing or not.
Correct. So I think leaders, if you are struggling to get the ROI, as Stephanie mentioned, try to focus more on the qualitative aspects rather than the quantitative, because quantitative may not always be the right thing to do when it comes to measuring the impact of AI. And I think what point is coming to my mind that sometimes, so this is a disruption in my way because you have been used to look at that quantitative. So what you are doing is you are again for the AI effectiveness, you're looking at quantitative. But the level playing field is very different. You don't have to do quantitative, you have to do qualitative. So if you are still focusing on the ROI, focus on that qualitative aspect that will help you showcase. And again, it is not something that you will get overnight. It's a work in progress. It's you are here in the long term. This is not overnight results. Probably in 3 to 6 months, you will start seeing the results in a way which probably you are not used to. So we as leaders, we need to get used to of measuring the qualitative aspects. Thank you for
Absolutely.
sharing that. And Stephanie, I would want at this time, I want you to talk about Avatar Buddy, which is one of your brainchild, and you position itself as a partner and not just as a product. Help us understand what gaps do you see in how organizations are adapting AI and the way you lead to build it, the way you want it to lead, the way you want to your clients to manage their AI adoption. Enlighten us.
Yeah, so I see people saying, get AI for this one person on the team or this 2 people on the
Mhm.
team. That is not, you need a company-wide strategy for AI. And
Mhm.
that gets people are like, "Oh, no." But when I say you need a company-wide strategy for AI, is you need to take your existing company strategy and see where it makes sense to add AI. So I just went to a potential customer and I listened to what their pain points are, and I flowed out their workflow, and I said, "Where you want to put AI, the rest of it have the humans do."
Mhm.
I didn't put the whole workflow is in the AI. I just here's where you can really maximize your AI. I mean, because what you want to do is you want to look at your processes and the processes with the biggest pain point. That's the pain points are what you want to give to AI because what that does is it relieves the person and then allows them to focus on more complex issues and makes them more creative, right? It's kind of like if you spend all day fighting with a bunch of spreadsheets to get all the data aligned, you don't
Mhm.
even have the mental capacity, even if you might have the desire, to then go through those spreadsheets and like extract nuggets and
Mhm.
see patterns that maybe well, give the AI the job of normalizing the spreadsheets for you. You can give if the spreadsheets have different names and I don't know why we can't standardize on L name is last name. No, everybody has to put different whatever. Just
Mhm.
you give the AI a data map. Hey, when you see L name and that's last name. AI figures out the rest. normalize the data for you. Then you're sitting there looking at the data, and then now you can start asking the AI questions and be like, "Hey, go through the spreadsheet. It's 1,500 rows. Go through the spreadsheet and tell me, do you notice this pattern? Do you notice this other pattern?" So that's practical application of AI in a way that keeps human in the loop, amplifies your employees, and gets to more insights. And now the employee is like, man, at the end of the day, he's like, oh my goodness, I just realized that we're overspending on X.
Yeah. And I think at times I also notice that, specifically with the use of AI, we humans, we are overcomplicating things. And AI is there to make our life simple. AI is there to make our life easy. But if we are overcomplicating it, if we are getting overwhelmed, then probably that AI is, you're not using the best way to AI to help you. And I think, as you very unique example or very simple example that you gave is that Excel spreadsheet, the L is a last name. Why we are making it too complicated? Why we are disrupting that? There's no need to disrupt that aspect, because if there are 10 people managing a spreadsheet in your company, and if they all are using different way to use the instead of last name first name, they're using first name last name, it will create issue when it comes to getting the data output. So let's make sure that we are simplifying things, not overcomplicating for AI, because with AI will keep you on the edge. As Stephanie was telling earlier, that how as a leader, we need to keep our employees on the edge. AI will keep you at the edge. And there is no limit to AI. So unless and until you put a limit that, hey, do not ask me more than two questions on this aspect, AI will keep on asking you questions. And then it can keep you taking on to a different level altogether. So I think what you mentioned is making sure that you know what your end goals are when it comes to AI. The other thing which I'm also learning is AI is not for one team or one person or one department. It is a company wide. So if you are a leader utilizing or trying to see how AI can help you, have that macro vision. Don't look at the micro vision to save cost. Okay, let me do it in one team. Let me see the impact, and then I will replicate to the overall organization. That may not be the right approach. And on that note, Stephanie, if there are C-level executive of a mid-sized company listening to our conversation and they want to implement AI, what would be your advice? Where they should start, where they should begin? What should be their initial few steps if they're thinking to implement AI?
Well, obviously, they should be calling me to have me
Mhm.
help them implement, but that
Awesome. Yeah.
notwithstanding, clarity on what it is they're trying to get out of AI, not being overly ambitious. Ensure that there's a champion. Even if you have external people helping you, you still need an internal champion for AI. Ensure that AI is everybody's responsibility,
Mhm.
and hold everybody accountable for the successful implementation of AI.
Got it. All right. So I know you all are listening to our episode. If right now may not be the time, but maybe 10 minutes later when we end our conversation, pick up your phone and connect with Stephanie. Because I always see that why there are hesitation in us, specifically the type A personalities, to ask for help. I always believe that you ask for help not to look weak, but ask for help to become stronger. So if you are struggling, no matter how much portfolio you are handling as a CIO or a CTO, still you may need help. And there is no harm in taking help. It is always about you becoming stronger. So connect with Stephanie and her team, and they will do a good job. They will take good care of you. And I think what I have learned about Stephanie's model is if they have not the right team, they will also let you know. So they will not just
Exactly.
take away things from you just because you are having the conversation. Her motto, her job is to make sure that you are successful. Whether if they are not the right team, they will recommend, they will give the recommendation, and they will tell you what needs to be done. But based on my research about her, most of the time they will be able to support you. But if there is 1 out of 10 chances, they will let you know that they are not the right team, and they will guide you for the further action. So, thank you,
Absolutely.
Stephanie. for
Thank
doing
you.
that. And
I
now,
really appreciate the opportunity. I enjoyed the podcast. I love these questions. It's always good. I find that coming on podcasts is it's a opportunity to be reflective and retrospective on what is it that I'm doing and how does this all pull together.
absolutely. And before we move to our last segment, which is the rapid fire, Stephanie, what is the best way for people to connect with you?
You can connect with me,
Okay.
Stephanie at avatarbuddy.ai, or you can look at connect with me via LinkedIn, Stephanie Sylvestre,
Yes,
which way?
and we will include that in show notes. So people who are listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcast, you may not be able to see what Stephanie is pointing out. She is pointing out to her background where she has her credentials, where she has her website. So we will include that in the show notes for you.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Stephanie. So
Okay,
now we will move to our fun rapid fire round. There will be 5 questions coming to you, and we would want you to answer instantly. All right.
okay, let's go.
Okay. So the first one, what is one leadership skill you wish someone had taught you earlier?
The importance of being vulnerable as a leader.
Wow.
So that you don't have to know everything. In fact, the more you say I don't know, the more people feel empowered and they will rise to the occasion.
I hope all my listeners are listening to this, my aspiring leaders. It's not about just knowing it all. We are human beings, and there will be many things that you will not know, except that you don't know. It's always good to be that curious person, that curious learner. There is always learning is forever. So thank you for sharing that wisdom, Stephanie. What is your favorite quotation that you live by?
Every disappointment's for the better.
Hmm. Wow. One daily routine you never skip.
I guess I would have to say I brush my teeth every day.
Okay. All right. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
It all depends. When I'm on my natural rhythm, I will get up about 6 and I am way more productive and creative. But I've also found that if I can stay up past 11, 12 o'clock at night, I guess then I guess it's still morning. At 1, 2
Yeah.
o'clock in the early mornings is when I'm most productive. So I guess from 1 a.m. till about 9, 10 a.m., I'm most productive. It all depends on whether I'm waking up or not.
Okay. Got it. And the final one, if your career were a Netflix series, what would be the title of season one be?
Well, the let's see, it would be strange
Strange.
connections.
Strange connections.
Strange connections. So I take pride in meeting random people and connecting with them and then developing friendships with them and maintaining those friendships. I think the last friendship that we created, we didn't really maintain we didn't get their contact info, so we couldn't create a friendship with them. Was in 2024, my mom and I went to Nairobi, and she wanted to do a tour with the street kids, with the farmer
Mm-hmm.
street kids, and we went. We the tour was full online, so we said we're going to go where the tour is going to start, and so we go where Google says this tour. Google Maps says coordinates say this tour is going to start, and we can't find the tour.
Mm-hmm.
So I said maybe Google made a mistake. I mean, like Google can make mistakes. It is Nairobi after all. And so I walk over to another place that maybe could be, and I come back and I see my mom talking to this gentleman, and she's like, "This is our tour guide." I was just like, "This is not our tour guide," but he was our tour guide. And then he says, "Here's this other person." So his name was Tsunami. That's his nickname. And then this other guy comes and his name was Priest, and he they had lots of resemblance of my brother. And my mom was like, "This is it." And so we just met these gentlemen on the side of the street, had conversations with them, and said, "Yeah, like we'll walk around Nairobi for 2 hours with you." And it was great. They
Mm-hmm.
took us to parts of Nairobi that I don't think the Nairobi Tourist Board would want tourists to go, but it was real. So
Wow.
Strange Connections would be the name of my Netflix series season 1.
Nice. Thank you. Uh,
Thank you.
on that note, I will also would want to share my learnings from the show, Stephanie.
Please.
There has been a lot of golden nuggets that were dropped by you. And listeners or people watching us on YouTube, this is now the time for you as well to drop in your comments, your learnings from the show. So, yes, AI is there for real. AI will stay for long. Whether you want to stay away, it will come to you, it will come in your life. So, more and more we learn about AI would be better. The first learning I had from the leadership perspective, and such a noble thing that Stephanie did in her leadership role, is leadership is not about comforting people. When your people are uncomfortable, and it's okay when people are not liking you as a leader, that is what your true job. And I draw this parallel because my wife normally talks about that a good parent is a parent when kids don't like them, kids hate them, because there is times when parents will not be agreeing to whatever kids want to do, because kids wants to do all great things which probably is not good for their health or for the body. So same thing is on the leadership as well. Be a leader who is truly unleashing their true potential. So that's number one learning for me. Number two, the thought process that Stephanie is bringing around the AI is a social construct, as she mentioned. It also has an element of humanness. And for AI to become successful, one of the aspects that leaders needs to look into it is the clarity on the goals that you need to have from the implementation of AI. AI is not there just for one person or one team. AI is for company wide. Whenever you are thinking to implement AI, focus on implementing company wide. On the same note, we also learned that the traditional ROI measure will not work when it comes to measuring AI. Focus on doing the quality measures, and that quality measures will come over time. And lastly, I will end with this. If you are a C level executive, if you are an entrepreneur wanting to execute AI, number one, call Stephanie. Connect with her team. They will be able to guide you, they will be able to support you. Number two, get clarity. Be clear on what you want to do and why you want to do. Don't be overly ambitious. Keep your feet on the ground. Have an internal champion. You need that champion, that change manager or the change agents who is really helping you throughout the process. And AI is all about knowing, don't overcomplicate AI. AI is there to make your life simple. If AI is making you overwhelmed, if AI is taking your night sleeps away, there is something not doing well. And that's when you need to connect with Stephanie and her team. So thank you, Stephanie, for being here on our show. We are truly blessed to share your wisdom with our listeners on the Confident Leader podcast. And thank you. You are the people who are making us grow and making us the top 1.5% globally. So thank you again. And thank you, listeners. Take
Thank
care.
you for the opportunity. And just remember, leadership is not a popularity contest.
Wow. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.